Hello everyone. Welcome to the new session of Cereal Crops Part 2. In this session, we are going to study about different crops like wheat, millets, oats, rye and sorghum. So these are some of the important crops that we are going to study about in this session. Wheat, Triticum. The species name is Triticum, more than 20 to 30 species distributed through eastern Mediterranean to Iran. So in this region, around 20 around 20 to 30 species of wheat are grown. They are temperate crop. Wheat is a temperate crop and complex ancestry to where the first domesticated in the Near East sometime before 7000 BC. So this is the ancestry of this particular plant that in it was domesticated in the Near East of the continent and sometime before around 7000 BC. It is a type of grass, is extensively cultivated for its seeds. So basically it is belongs to the grass family, right? And it is cultivated for its seeds, which yield a cereal grain that serve as a fundamental food source worldwide. So this is very important because the seeds of this particular crop is used as a cereal grain and it serves as a fundamental food for the source worldwide. It plays a significant role in providing carbohydrate and stand as a primary source of plant-based protein in the global human diet. So this is stand first for the carbohydrate food. If we are considering the carbohydrate food, then wheat and rice comes first, right? So this is one of the major type of cereal that is consumed as a food. Wheat contain approximately 13% protein content. Along with the carbohydrate, it contains 30% protein content, which is relatively high when compared to the other major cereals. Although it offers relatively lower protein quality in terms of supplying essential amino acid. Okay, so basically it is giving us 13% protein content if we compare to the other nutrients that are present in the wheat, right? And it is comparatively high than other cereals, other major cereals. If you compare, then we get that it is having high protein content, but it is a relatively lower protein quality in terms of supplying essential amino acid. The other essential amino acid which we are getting from the pulses and other protein rich diet, that is lacking here, but still it is providing us protein along with the major carbohydrate. So when consumed in its whole grain form, wheat provide a range of essential nutrients and dietary fiber. So this whole grain form is very important because if we are consuming the wheat as a whole grain form, then we are getting fibers along with protein as well as the carbohydrate. However, it's important to know that small segment of the population may experience adverse reaction to the gluten, the predominant protein in the wheat, leading to the conditions such as celiac disease, non-celiac gluten sensitivity, gluten ataxia, and dermatitis herpetiformis. So these are some of the disease occur nowadays if we are consuming wheat, okay, and that contain a protein that is called as gluten, and nowadays it is causing lot of problem in the people. Like we have seen this celiac disease, non-celiac gluten sensitivity, gluten ataxia, and dermatitis herpetiformis. So this gluten protein is not good and it is consumed, right? So these are some of the problems now the people are facing if we are consuming wheat. Wheat grain classes are named by color, season, and hardness. The classes are, so according to there are so many classes for the wheat. So according to the color, okay, the grain color, the season in which they are growing, and the hardness of the seeds. On the basis of these factors, there are different classes of wheat. So the number one is durum. It is a hard, translucent, light colored grain used to make semolina flour for pasta and burger. Right? So this particular durum type of wheat, durum wheat, is hard. The seeds are comparatively hard. They are translucent, light colored grain and used to make semolina flour that are used for also pasta and making burger. They are high in protein content, specifically gluten protein. So this is very, very important. If we are consuming a lot of pasta, burger and semolina, means we are consuming a lot of gluten, right? So this is the type of wheat that is called as durum wheat. Next is hard red spring. Okay, so this is also, the seeds are quite hard, brownish in color, high protein wheat used for making bread and hard baked goods. So this is first choice in the bakery, right? They are used in making breads and hard baked goods. So the bread flour and high gluten flours are commonly made from the hard red spring wheat. So this is specifically also called as bread flour, and this is high gluten flours, right? So this is hard red spring. It is primarily traded on the Minneapolis Grain Exchange. Next is hard red winter. This is again hard, brownish in color, mellow, high protein wheat used for bread. So this is again used for bread, but this is mellow high protein, not very high. Hard baked goods and as an adjunct in other flours to increase the protein in pastry flours or pie crust. So it is mixed with other flours to increase the protein content, especially in the pastry and flours for pie crust, right? So this is again hard red winter wheat. Soft red winter. This is not a hard seed. This is the soft seed, right? Low protein wheat used for making cakes, pie crust, biscuits and muffins. Because they are soft, so they are used for making cakes, pie crust, biscuits and muffins. Cake flour, pastry flour and some self-rising flour with the baking powder and salt added. So in the flour, baking powder and salts are added, right? For examples are made for soft red winter wheat. So this is we get from the soft red winter wheat, and these are used for making cakes, pie crust, biscuits and muffins. Hard white. Hard, light colored, opaque, chalky, medium protein. So they are chalky like white, right? So they are light colored. Medium protein wheat planted in dry, temperate areas used for bread and brewing industry. So this particular one is used for making bread and brewing industry. Soft white. Soft, light colored, very low protein wheat grown in the temperate moist area. So this one, if we are want to use the low protein content wheat, then we can opt for the soft white, okay, used for pie crust and pastry. So these are the different types of wheat. Okay, so the evolution through the polyploidy, there are different types of wheat, right? According to the polyploidy. Diploid, Triticum monococcum. Okay, so this is Triticum monococcum, also known as encorn wheat. Encorn wheat. Tetraploid, Triticum decocorn, that is emmer wheat. Okay, hexaploid, very important. Triticum aestivum, common bread wheat. Triticum durum flint, hard macaroni. So these are the different name of it. That is also called as durum wheat. Okay, so these are some of the different wheat based on their polyploidy. So question can be asked from this particular point. Okay, so which of the following is a diploid wheat, which of the following is a tetraploid wheat, or which of the following is a hexaploid wheat. So this is important. Wheat is most important used for making bread and drum wheat. So most important are bread and drum wheat. Prehistoric cultivars are being revived. Emmer and encorn, that is high amylase and not suitable for leavened bread. So emmer and encorn are basically not used for leavened bread. Two main protein, that is glutenin and gliadin, which makes the dough elastic when mixed with water. So these are the two main protein, that is gluten and gliadin, that makes the dough elastic and when mixed with the water. So this can be also asked in the examination. Two major events impacted the wheat production. So there are two main things on which our wheat production depends on. First one, growing rust. So this is particular type of rust disease. Okay, rust disease that is caused by a fungus, Puccinia graminis triticale. So that is the variety name, that is Puccinia graminis, right? And if we are having a resistant variety for this particular fungus, a wheat variety that is having resistance to this particular fungus, then our production is going to be increased. Modern industrial flour mills. So if we are using modern industrial flour mills, then also we are going to increase our wheat production. So these are the two major events. By developing the resistant varieties, because this is the major disease that causes damage to the wheat plant, and if we are having the resistance against that, then we are going to increase the production of wheat, right? And if we are using the modern industrial flour mills, then also we are increasing the wheat production. Okay, so next is millets. Millets are the diverse group of small seeded grasses that find widespread cultivation globally and serve as a cereal crops, grains for both animals fodder and the human consumption. So millet is a group of cereals. So here you can see this is millets. So what are the different types of millets? Sorghum, this is a type of cereal. Pearl millets, that is also called as bajra. Foxtail millets, finger millets, little millets, barnyard millets, proso millets, kodo millets. So there are so different types of millets. Okay. So this is a diverse group of small seeded grasses that find widespread widespread cultivation globally. So it is cultivated globally for cereal crops, okay, and that are going to be consumed by as a fodder for the animal and also by human for as a food consumption, right? So while most millet species are typically classified under the Panyaceae tribes, okay, some millets also belong to the various other taxonomic groups. So there are different taxonomic groups, right, that use millets. Generally, millets are small grained, annual, warm weather cereal and belonging to the grass family. So generally, they belongs to the grass family. They are actually small in size. The grains are quite small in size. So that is why it is also called a small grain cereals. They are annually. They grow annually and warm weather cereal. They grow in the country region that are warm. They are highly tolerant of drought and other extreme weather conditions. So they grow in comparatively less water available regions, right? So they are quite tolerant to the drought and extreme weather condition. They can grow in extreme weather condition and have a similar nutrient content to other major cereals. Millets are favored for their ability to thrive in dry, high temperature conditions, offering a productive yield and a relatively short growing season. So they are favored for their ability to thrive in dry, because in dry region generally cereals crops do not grow, because every cereal they require water, right? But this particular millets, there are so many millets that can be grown in the dry, comparatively dry region and high temperate condition. Okay, so they are offering productive yield and relatively short growing season. They require a very short growing season and they require less water. So they can be grown in the dry region of the country. The different species of the millets are not necessarily closely related. So we have seen that there are different species of millet, but it doesn't mean that they are closely related. They are not necessarily closely related. All members of the family Poaceae, that is the grass family, but can belong to the different tribes or even subfamilies, right? So they can belongs to the different tribes of this family, even they can belong to the subfamilies, right? So it is not necessary that they are all closely related. They may be, but they may not be. So here are some of the commonly cultivated millets. Eleusine coracana, that is the finger millets. Irregrostis teff, that is also called as teff. Panicum miliacum, proso millet. Panicum some atrans, that is little millets. Panistum glaucum, pearl millets, bajra. Digitaria exalis, known as white fonio, and Paspalum scrobiculatum, that is kodo millet. Okay. General term for the several small seeded grains. So this is millet. This is a general term for several small seeded grains. So there we have just in the previous slide saw that there are number of types of cereals that comes under a wide group that is called as millets, right? Millets. Pearl millets, Panicum glaucum. This is one of the example. They are most drought resistant and high protein and ash content. So they are high protein. So if we want to avoid carbs in our dietary component, then we can opt for different millets. They are good as they contain high protein and less carbs. Next is oats. Oats scientifically known as Avena sativa and occasionally referred to as common oats. Sometimes they are also called as common oats and their scientific name is Avena sativa. Are a cereal grain and variety cultivated primarily for their seeds. So they are primarily cultivated for their seeds, which bear the same name, right? Unlike most other cereals and the pseudo cereal, oats are typically mentioned in the plural form. Oats are valuable food source for the human consumption, often prepared as oatmeal or the rolled oats. So sometimes we consume this particular cereal as a oatmeal or also in the form of rolled oats. They are renowned for their nutrient rich composition, right? So they are very rich in nutrients and are linked to the lower blood cholesterol level. So it also maintains the blood cholesterol level, reduces the blood cholesterol level and reducing the risk of heart disease. So it is good for the people who are heart patients. So this when incorporated into the regular diet. So when it is intake as a regular diet, okay, it is good for the heart patients. Additionally, oats serve as a widely used feed for livestock. So it is not only used for the by the human, right? It is also used to feed livestock. Avena sativa, this is the scientific name, as elongated caryopsis. This is a type of seed. The seed of this particular oat is called caryopsis. Two aileron layer are there. So 12 to 13% protein content, 4 to 5% is oil, 66 to 77 that is carbs and 12 to 15% crude fiber. So reduce blood sugar by reducing absorption. This crude fiber. Oats are used for the medicinal value. So it is having the medicinal value. So it is consumed in that way and has all essential amino acids. So it is good if we are consuming because it is we are getting all the essential amino acid, right? They are hard processed to denature enzyme. They are heat processed to denature enzyme. Oats are also used for the production of milk substitutes. So sometimes we do not want to use milk, then we can use this oat milk. There is an oat milk and that is used as a milk substitute. Oats are also occasionally used in the several different form of drinks. Next is rye, that is also called as sickle cereal. This is the scientific name of this particular crop, rye. It is a grass grown extensively as a grain, a cover crop and a forage crop. So this is used as a cover crop. So question can be asked, which of the following cereal is grown as a cover crop? So if the option is rye, then that is going to be the correct answer. Cover crop and also as a forage crop. It is a member of the wheat tribe, that is Triticaceae. It is closely related to both wheat and barley, that is genera Triticum and Hordeum vulgare. Right? So wheat, that is triticum. So this particular sickle cereal is very closely related to triticum and Hordeum vulgare. So again, this is a very important point. Globally, rye is considered a minor crop compared to the wheat and encourage countries to decline in most regions of the world. Largest producer are Germany, Poland and Russia. So these are the countries that produce rye in large quantity. Rye is extremely hardy crop. It can survive in harsh winters, sandy soil and low fertility drought conditions. So they require less care. They can grow in the extreme condition, that is harsh winter, sandy soil, low fertility. If the soil has having low fertility, then also this can be grown, and even in the drought condition. Sickle cereal, scientific name, feed cereal. This is used to feed. Alcoholic drink can be prepared from this. Infections. So this is a particular type of a fungus that is called as ergot, and it causes disease in rye. Has pentosans, not starch, does not disintegrate, and gelatinize, soft crumbs, usually mixed with wheat flour. So it is mixed with wheat flour to make different preparations. Sorghum, another cereal. So this is also is a important millets, also known as broom corn, and is a plant genus comprising approximately 25 species of flowering plants within the grass family, that is Poaceae. So this sorghum belongs to the family Poaceae, and it is having 25 different species of flowering plants. Okay, so among these species, some are cultivated as a cereal grains for the human consumption. So some of the species are cultivated as a cereal grain for the consumption of human, while other are used in pastures as animal fodder. And some are used as a animal fodder and serve as a bristle material for making brooms. Okay, so they are hard fibers, so they are having a bristle making capacity, so that is used for making brooms even. Sorghum grains in a particular are nutritious food source, notable for their high protein content, dietary fiber, vitamin B, and mineral content. Right? So they are good source of food because their protein content is high. They are having lots of fibers because fibers are very, very important. They are rich in vitamin B and also in mineral content. The grain is edible and nutritious. It can be eaten raw when young and milky. So when the seeds are quite young, they are milky and they can be eaten raw. But as to be boiled or ground into the flour when mature. But when they become mature, they are ground into flour. Sorghum bicolor, this is a scientific name and it is found in the tropical Africa. Major food in India, it is used in India and Africa, right? Very versatile crop. Black and brown sorghum has a polyphenol such as condensed. So they also contain black and brown sorghum as a polyphenol content, right? So this is all about this session. So along with this session, we have completed the cereal crops. Thank you very much.